G'day, welcome to Free Social Rockclimbing. My name's Adam. Today I'm going to show you an abseiling system set up with a load releasable anchor and a safety line. So we've got the middle of the rope here, except it's not the middle, it's offset by about this much, and we've got it tied through a 4-stranded figure 8 follow through. We've tied a titanium ring into that, right here. We've got 4 strands here of 1.8 tonne Dyneema core cord to another titanium ring which holds a super munter hitch. Brake strand of that super munter hitch is secured with a standard prusik with 3 turns and back to the first titanium ring. This here is a double turned reaver bend. So that on its own is okay to abseil on, but just to back it up, we've got a figure 8 in a bight as a prusik hitch, and we double use this figure 8 as a chain stitch to stow all the extra slack for the load releasable anchor. So the abseiler clips into this line. This here is the safety line, goes straight into the main big knot. So we'll go down to the cliff edge. Abseiler line gets the rope protector because that's a static line. The control line, or the safety line, is always moving. So the abseiler, in this case Mr. Pack here, gets a carabiner clip through the belay loop, a titanium ring which rotates and distributes the heat. But we've also re-threaded the rope in an S-bend so that the brake strand, which is this one, is always in the right direction no matter which way you hold this. So that you make a fist around that rope and never let go. Loosen your fist to descend. Anyway, the safety line gets tied into the belay loop of the abseiler through a friction device, which is also tied into the secondary safety line and set at the right length, which should be within reach of the cliff but free hanging in open air, not pinned against the rock. So if I made it there, that would be very difficult to manage. It has to be free hanging in open air. Anyway, I hold on to this end as the guide sending the newbie over the cliff, and while I'm working and tying things and setting up, I have a catastrophe knot here, and then that rope goes through to a whole hank of rope, back through to the other end of that figure 8, and then back up to the main anchor point. So now we'll go to the top rope anchor setup. First thing you do is set this line to just enough length to provide a personal safety anchor with you at the edge of the cliff. Then tie a figure 8 through the anchor, putting the loaded line towards the centre of the rope, not that strand, it must be that strand to make it undo easily after it's been loaded. You send that black line over the edge of the cliff to enough length to tie a figure 8 and then back up. So by this stage we'll have a bit of rope left over at the end. We grab a bight of rope, we tie a figure 8 and then follow it through. Because it's on a bight, it'll have 4 strands. We've got 1 strand, 2 strand, 3 strand, 4 strand, and this will be a big knot, and then we hank up the excess rope. So once we've got our 2 anchor points set up and tied, we then grab the rope equalise it side to side to where you want it to go. Let the titanium ring fall to the bottom and then tie a knot. In this case it's a figure 9, could be a figure 8, and then put the climbing rope through that titanium ring. Normally you have a couple of steel carabiners with opposing gates. The reason you have to oppose the gates is because there are gates. Once you thread the rope through, it's physically captive. You can't slip out of a gate or roll out or anything like that. And then it's right for the rest of the day. It's not so reliant on humans avoiding human error via human checks.